The Forgotten Library Beneath the Desert. A calming bedtime story in 5 chapters. Chapter 1, The Endless Sands. You wake before dawn, in a small tent that barely shelters you from the cool desert air. The fabric walls flutter gently in the morning breeze, and you can hear the soft whisper of sand shifting across the dunes beyond. You stretch slowly, feeling the familiar ache in your muscles from days of walking. Your water supplies are adequate, your provisions carefully rationed. But something deeper than hunger or thirst draws you forward. It is the pull of mystery, the gentle tug of ancient secrets that seem to call your name across the vast emptiness. You emerge from your tent, and the desert greets you with its endless embrace. The sky above is painted in the softest shades of rose and gold. Gentle clouds drift like silk scarves across the heavens, casting moving shadows that dance across the rolling dunes. The air is clean and crisp, filled with the promise of discoveries yet to come. Your boots sink slightly into the cool sand as you begin to walk. Each step creates a small whisper, a gentle rhythm that becomes a meditation. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. The sound mingles with your steady breathing, creating a peaceful cadence that soothes your mind. Behind you, your footprints create a lonely trail. But you do not look back, your eyes are fixed on the horizon, where the morning sun begins to paint the world in warm amber light. The desert stretches endlessly in all directions. But you are not lost, something guides you, a knowing that lives deep in your bones. As the sun climbs higher, the sand begins to warm beneath your feet. You pause beside a small dune, taking a slow drink from your water bottle. The liquid is cool and refreshing, and you close your eyes for a moment, feeling grateful for this simple pleasure. When you open them again, something catches your attention. There, partially buried in the sand near your feet, is a small stone, but this is not an ordinary rock. Its surface bears markings, symbols carved with careful precision. You kneel slowly, brushing away the fine grains that have accumulated over countless years. The stone is smooth, worn by wind and time, but the symbols remain clear. You recognize them, somehow, though you cannot remember where you might have seen such markings before. They seem to pulse with gentle energy, as if they hold memories of their own. You lift the stone carefully, feeling its pleasant weight in your palm. It is warm from the sun, and smooth as silk. Standing again, you look around with new awareness. And now you see them, more stones, scattered across the landscape, like breadcrumbs in an ancient tale. Some are barely visible, just tiny corners poking through the sand. Others rest opally on the surface, waiting patiently to be discovered. You walk to the next stone, and the next. Each one bears similar symbols, but in different combinations. Like words in a language you almost understand. The stones from a gentle path, not straight, but meandering like a lazy river, leading you deeper into the desert's heart. The sun continues its slow journey across the sky, but you barely notice the passage of time. You are lost in the rhythm of discovery, stone by stone, symbol by symbol. The markings begin to feel familiar, like half-remembered dreams, or songs your grandmother might have hummed while you dozed as a child. Hours pass, or perhaps only minutes, Time moves differently here in the vastness, where the only sounds are your breathing, your footsteps, and the gentle whisper of wind across the dunes. You follow the stone trail with growing wonder, each discovery filling you with quiet joy. The stones lead you up one dune, and down another, around gentle curves and across small valleys of sand. Sometimes you pause to rest, sitting cross-legged beside a particularly interesting stone, tracing its symbols with your finger, while you sip water and enjoy a piece of dried fruit. During one such rest, you notice how the landscape around you has begun to change. The dunes here seem older somehow, more settled, their edges worn smooth by countless centuries of wind. The sand itself appears different, not the bright gold of the outer desert, but deeper, richer, like honey mixed with amber. You rise and continue following the trail, and with each step, the sense of approaching something significant grows stronger. The stones appear more frequently now, some as large as your fist, others small as pebbles, all bearing their mysterious messages, their silent invitations to continue forward. The sun reaches its zenith, bathing everything in warm, drowsy light. You pause in the shade of a larger dune, removing your hat to wipe your brow. The heat is not oppressive here, but gentle and embracing. Like a warm blanket on a cool evening, you close your eyes and listen to the profound silence. But wait, is it truly silent? You tilt your head, straining to hear. There, so faint it might be imagination. Is that the sound of whispering? Not voices exactly, but something like the rustle of pages turning, or the soft sigh of ancient buildings settling into themselves. You open your eyes and look around, but see nothing unusual. Just sand, stones, and the endless blue sky. Yet the feeling persists. The sense that you are approaching something wonderful. Something that has been waiting patiently for your arrival. You shoulder your pack and continue walking. The stone trail becomes clearer now, less scattered, more purposeful. The symbols seem to grow more complex, more urgent, as if they are trying to tell you something important. You find yourself walking faster, not from impatience, but from growing excitement. The afternoon wears on, and the quality of light begins to change. Becoming richer, more golden, the shadows grow longer, and the air carries new scents, something like old parchment and dust, and the faint sweetness of flowers that bloomed long ago. You crest another dune, and pause. There, ahead of you, the stones from a clear path, leading directly toward something. The sand here is different, almost crystalline, and it sparkles in the afternoon light like crushed gems. You quicken your steps, following the stone pathway as it curves around a large outcropping of rock. And then you see it, rising from the sand, like a dream made manifest, is a structure, ancient beyond measure, its walls carved from stone that seems to glow with inner light. It is not large, perhaps the size of a small house, but there is something about it that speaks of vast importance, of secrets preserved across millennia. You approach slowly, reverently. Your footsteps make no sound on the crystalline sand. The structure seems to pulse gently, as if it breathes, as if it lives. The stones of your trail lead directly to its base, where they form a perfect circle around what appears to be an entrance. But the entrance is sealed, closed by a massive door of the same glowing stone. and covering every inch of this door, carved deep into its surface, are symbols. Hundreds of them, thousands, all variations of the markings you have been following, but more elaborate, more beautiful, more alive. You stand before this door, feeling very small, but not insignificant. Rather, you feel like the final piece of an ancient puzzle, the key that has traveled far to find its lock. The symbols seem to dance before your eyes, rearranging themselves, telling stories in languages older than memory. The sun begins to sink toward the horizon, painting the sky in shades of purple and gold. The door glows more brightly now, as if responding to the changing light. And as you watch, mesmerized, you notice something extraordinary. The symbols are moving, not dramatically, but with the slow, hypnotic rhythm of tides. They flow across the surface of the door like water, like light, like dreams, and in their movement, you begin to understand. This is not merely a door. It is a message, a welcome, an invitation written in the language of stars and time. You step closer, extending your hand toward the warm stone, and as your fingers touch the surface, the symbols pulse brighter, as if recognizing your touch, as if they have been waiting, just for you, just for this moment. The desert around you holds its breath. The wind stills. Even your heartbeat seems to slow. Everything waits, everything listens, as you stand before this gateway to mystery, this threshold between the known and the unknowable. The last rays of sunlight bathe the door in golden fire, and somewhere, deep within the stone, you hear the faintest sound, like pages turning, like whispers of welcome, like the gentle sigh of ancient knowledge stirring from its long sleep. You close your eyes, feeling the warmth of the stone beneath your palm, feeling the pulse of secrets waiting to be discovered, feeling the profound peace of a journey that is nearing its most beautiful destination. Tomorrow, you know, you will find a way through this door. Tonight, you will rest here, in this sacred place, and dream of the wonders that await. You make camp in the shelter of the glowing structure, your small tent like a flower blooming at the feet of a great tree. As darkness falls, the door continues to pulse with its gentle light, and the symbols dance their eternal dance, telling stories to the stars, singing lullabies to the sleeping sand. You lie in your sleeping bag, looking up through the tent's opening at the vast tapestry of stars above, and as sleep begins to claim you, you hear them again, the whispers, the soft rustle of pages, the gentle welcome of ancient wisdom, calling you home, calling you deeper, calling you to discoveries that will change everything. Your eyes grow heavy, your breathing slows, and the last thing you see before sleep takes you is the gentle glow of the door, pulsing like a great heart, keeping time with your own, promising wonders, promising peace, promising that tomorrow will bring answers to questions you didn't even know you were asking. The desert settles into its nightly quiet. The stars wheel overhead in their ancient patterns, and you sleep the deep, peaceful sleep of the truly weary, while all around you, the forgotten library beneath the sand prepares for your arrival, preparing to share its secrets, preparing to welcome you home. In your dreams, you walk through halls lined with books that glow like stars, their pages whispering secrets of the universe, their words painting pictures of beauty beyond imagination. And when you wake, with the first light of dawn painting the eastern sky, you will know exactly what you must do. The door waits, patient as stone, eternal as the desert itself, ready to open, ready to reveal, ready to share the treasures that have slept beneath the sand for countless centuries, waiting for you, waiting for this moment, waiting for the beginning of the most beautiful part of your journey. Chapter 2. The Carved Stone Door. You wake as the first pale light of dawn touches the eastern horizon. The air is cool and still, carrying the lingering dreams of night on its gentle breath. Through the fabric of your tent, you can see the soft glow that never faded. The eternal light of the carved door, pulsing steadily like a beacon of welcome. You emerge slowly from your sleeping bag, feeling rested in a way that goes deeper than mere sleep. It is as if the proximity to this ancient place has restored something in your soul, renewed some connection to mystery and wonder that you had forgotten you possessed. Your movements are unhurried, reverent, as if you were participating in a sacred ritual. The desert around you is painted in the softest shades of rose and pearl. The sand glimmers like crushed crystals, and the great door rises before you like a work of art crafted by gods. In the gentle morning light, the symbols carved into its surface seem even more alive, flowing and dancing with hypnotic grace. You pack your few belongings with careful attention, folding each item, placing it in your pack with the mindfulness of a monk preparing for prayer. There is no hurry here, no urgency, only the deep certainty that this day will bring profound discoveries, that this door will reveal its secrets when the moment is perfectly right. You approach the massive portal slowly, your footsteps silent on the crystalline sand. The door towers above you, perhaps 3 times your height, and just as wide. Every inch of its surface is covered with the flowing symbols, each one unique, each one part of a vast, interconnected story. You place both palms flat against the warm stone, and immediately feel the pulse of ancient power, like a great heart beating, like the breath of sleeping giants. The symbols flow beneath your touch, rearranging themselves, telling new stories, sharing different secrets. As you stand there, bathed in the gentle radiance, you begin to notice patterns in the symbol flow. Certain markings appear more frequently. Certain combinations repeat like refrains in a cosmic song. And slowly, very slowly, understanding begins to dawn. These are not random carvings, not decorative flourishes. They are instructions, a manual written in the language of ages. And as you watch, as you feel, as you allow your mind to quiet and your intuition to speak, the meaning becomes clear. The door is not locked. It never was. It has been waiting, patient as stone, for someone who could read its message, someone who could understand the simple, elegant truth it has been proclaiming for centuries. You step back, looking at the door with new eyes. And now you see it, the central panel, where the symbols flow in the most complex patterns, is not carved as deeply as the rest. It is a separate piece, fitted so perfectly that it appeared to be part of the whole, and the symbols dancing across its surface are not random. They are coordinates, directions, a map written in light. You place your hand on this central panel, and it responds immediately. The symbols brighten. Their dance becomes more urgent, more joyful. And with the softest whisper of stone against stone, the panel begins to move. It slides inward with the grace of water flowing downhill, revealing a hollow space behind, and in this space, resting as if it had been placed there just moments before, is a key, not metal, but carved from the same glowing stone as the door itself, its surface covered with symbols that match those flowing across the portal. You lift the key with trembling hands, feeling its pleasant weight, its perfect balance. The moment your fingers close around it, the symbols on the door blaze brighter, and you hear, faint but unmistakable, the sound of ancient mechanisms stirring to life. Deep within the structure, gears turn that have not moved for millennia. Locks disengage that have held their secrets since before memory. You search the door's surface with new understanding, looking for the keyhole that must exist. And there, at the very center of the vast portal, where the symbol patterns converge like rivers flowing to the sea, is a small depression, perfectly shaped to receive the key you hold. You insert the key slowly, savoring this moment of ultimate discovery, and as it slides home with a soft click that seems to echo across dimensions, the door responds with the majesty of a mountain awakening. The great portal swings inward without sound, revealing darkness beyond. But it is not the frightening darkness of the unknown. It is the welcoming darkness of a sanctuary, the gentle gloom of a place where wonders wait in patient silence. Cool air flows out to greet you, carrying scents that make your heart skip with recognition. Old parchment, leather bindings, the sweet mustiness of ancient wood, and underneath it all, something that can only be described as the scent of knowledge itself, the fragrance of wisdom preserved across ages. You step forward slowly, crossing the threshold between the world you knew and the world you are about to discover. Your footsteps echo softly in the space beyond, and with each step, lights begin to bloom around you. Not harsh electric brightness, but the warm, golden glow of candles and oil lamps, illuminating themselves as if in welcome. The chamber you enter takes your breath away. It is not large, perhaps 30 feet across, with a ceiling that rises to meet in a gentle dome overhead. But every surface, every wall, every pillar, is carved with symbols and images that seem to tell the story of the universe itself. Here are depictions of stars being born, galaxies spinning in their cosmic dance. Here are the faces of wise beings from ages past, their eyes kind and knowing, their expressions peaceful and eternal, and woven throughout, flowing like rivers of light, are more of the symbols, the written language of the ancients, telling stories that your heart understands even if your mind cannot translate. But this chamber, beautiful as it is not your destination, across from where you entered. Another doorway beckons, this one smaller, more intimate, leading deeper into the structure, and from beyond it, you hear the sound that has haunted your dreams. The gentle whisper of pages turning, the soft rustle of knowledge stirring. You move toward this inner doorway, and as you do, more lights bloom to life, creating a path of welcome, a river of illumination leading you home. The symbols on the walls seem to watch your progress with approval, their carved faces smiling with ancient joy. You pause at the threshold of the inner chamber, suddenly overwhelmed by the magnitude of what you are about to discover. Your heart beats slowly, steadily, in rhythm with the pulse of light that flows through this sacred place. You take a deep breath, tasting the air of ages on your tongue, and step forward into wonder. The sight that greets you defies description, and yet, somehow, you feel as if you have always known this place would exist, as if you have been dreaming of it your entire life. The chamber beyond is vast, far larger than the structure appeared from outside, its ceiling lost in gentle shadows, its walls lined with something that makes your soul sing with recognition. Books, thousands upon thousands of them, rising from floor to ceiling on shelves that seem to stretch into infinity. But these are not ordinary books. They glow with soft, inner light, their bindings shimmering with colors that have no names, their pages rustling with anticipation, as if they have been waiting for you, waiting for this moment of discovery. You walk forward in wonder, your steps muffled by carpet, so ancient it might have been woven by the first people to understand beauty. The air here is filled with the most extraordinary sensation, as if every breath carries whispers of wisdom, fragments of cosmic secrets, echoes of universal truths. And the books, oh, the books respond to your presence. Their glow brightens as you pass. Their pages flutter as if stirred by invisible winds, some of them, the ones bound in covers that shimmer like captured starlight, actually float a few inches above their shelves, hovering in welcome, inviting your touch. You approach one of these floating volumes, a tome bound in what appears to be crystallized moonlight, its cover bearing symbols that flow and change as you watch. Your hand trembles as you reach toward it, and the moment your fingers make contact, the most extraordinary thing happens. The book opens itself, its pages turning of their own accord, finding a section that seems to have been waiting specifically for you. And on those pages, written in symbols that transform themselves into your own language as you watch, is your name, and beneath it, a welcome written in words that bring tears to your eyes. Greetings, seeker of wisdom, wanderer of the endless path. You have found what was never lost, discovered what was always waiting. Welcome to the forgotten library, where knowledge sleeps and dreams, and wakes only for those whose hearts are open to wonder. You close the book gently, reverently, and place it back on its shelf. But it continues to glow brighter than the others, marking your first connection to this place of infinite learning, your first step into a world where the impossible is everyday, and the everyday is miraculous. You walk deeper into the library, marveling at the endless variety of volumes. Here are books bound in what appears to be crystallized music, their pages humming with gentle melodies. There are volumes wrapped in covers that shift like aurora borealis, containing what must be the dreams of sleeping stars. Some shelves hold scrolls instead of books, rolled manuscripts that glow with golden light, their cases carved from woods that no longer exist in the world above. Other sections contain books so small they might be meant for fairy hands, and others so large that their pages could serve as carpets for giants. And everywhere, pervading everything, is the sense of vast, patient intelligence. The library itself seems alive, aware of your presence, pleased by your arrival. The very air pulses with welcome, with invitation, with the promise of discoveries that will expand your understanding of what it means to exist in this vast, mysterious universe. You find a comfortable chair, carved from a single piece of wood that seems to embrace you as you sit. And you close your eyes, simply breathing, simply being, simply marveling at the fact that such a place exists, that you have found it, that it has been waiting all this time for your arrival. Around you, the books continue their gentle rustling, their pages whispering secrets to each other, their bindings glowing with satisfaction, and somewhere, deeper in the library, you hear new sounds, the soft tread of footsteps, the gentle murmur of voices speaking in languages that predate time itself. You are not alone here. You never were. This library, this sanctuary of knowledge, is inhabited by the wisest beings who ever lived, the gentlest souls who ever sought understanding. And they have been waiting, all of them, for you to find your way home. Tomorrow, you will explore deeper, will open more books, will discover more secrets. Tonight, you will rest here, in this chair that was carved specifically for you, surrounded by the gentle glow of infinite wisdom, listening to the lullabies of ancient knowledge, sleeping the peaceful sleep of one who has finally found where they belong. The library settles around you like a blanket of stars, its books pulsing in rhythm with your breathing, its shelves humming with contentment, and as you drift toward sleep, you hear them more clearly now, the voices of the wise ones, welcoming you, blessing you, promising that your journey into wonder has only just begun. Chapter 3. The Dusty Hall. You wake naturally, without alarm or urgency, your consciousness returning like dawn breaking over calm waters. The chair that held you through the night has molded itself perfectly to your form, and you realize with peaceful amazement that you feel more rested than you have in years. The library's gentle energy has restored not just your body, but something deeper, something in your spirit that had grown weary without your knowing. Around you, the books continue their soft rustling, their pages whispering good morning in languages that your heart understands even if your mind cannot translate. The golden light that illuminates this sanctuary pulses with the rhythm of a great, contented heart, welcoming you to another day of discovery. You rise slowly, stretching muscles that feel renewed, refreshed, and as you stand, several of the floating books drift closer, their covers glowing brighter, as if eager to share their contents with someone who appreciates their worth. You smile and nod to them, a greeting between old friends, and they bob gently in the air, pleased by your acknowledgement. Your stomach reminds you gently that even in magical places, the body has its needs. But as you think of food, you notice something wonderful there, on a small table that you could swear was not there yesterday. Sits a simple meal, bread that smells of sunshine and grain, fruit that glows with the colors of sunrise, and water so pure it seems to hold light within its depths. You eat slowly, savoring each bite, each sip, while the books around you rustle approvingly, as if they understand that nourishment of the body prepares the soul for deeper learning. The food tastes like memories of the most perfect meals you've ever had, like comfort and home and celebration all combined. As you finish eating, you notice something that makes your heart quicken with anticipation. At the far end of this chamber, Beyond the countless shelves of glowing volumes is another doorway. This one different from the others, taller, more ornate, its frame carved with symbols that seem to move and dance even more actively than those you've seen before. But it is not the doorway itself that captures your attention. It is what lies beyond it, through the opening. You can see the beginning of what appears to be a vast hall, and the air that flows from it carries new scents, older scents, the deep, dusty fragrance of knowledge that has slept undisturbed for centuries. You approach this new threshold with reverence, each step deliberate and mindful. The floating books follow you part way, then stop, as if this deeper realm is not their domain, as if they are passing you on to older, more mysterious guardians of wisdom. You pause at the doorway, looking out into the hall beyond, and what you see takes your breath away. The space is enormous, so vast that its far walls are lost in gentle shadows. The ceiling rises to impossible heights, supported by pillars that seem to be carved from single pieces of stone that gleam with inner light. But it is not the architecture that awes you. It is what fills this space, shelves, countless shelves, stretching away in every direction, rising from floor to ceiling. And every shelf is filled with books, scrolls, manuscripts, tablets, volumes of every size and description, all covered with the fine, sacred dust of ages. You step into the hall, and immediately understand why this place has been called the Forgotten Library. This is not merely a collection of books. This is the repository of all knowledge, all wisdom, all understanding that has ever existed. Here are the lost works of ancient civilizations, the secret teachings of forgotten masters, the dreams of sleeping gods recorded in languages that predate human speech. Your footsteps echo softly in the vast space, and with each step, lights begin to bloom. Not the warm golden glow of the outer chamber, but something cooler, more ancient. The pale light of stars, reflected in still water, it illuminates the hall gradually, revealing wonders that make your mind reel with their implications. Here's a section devoted entirely to books that write themselves, their pages filling with new words even as you watch, recording the thoughts and dreams of every living being in the universe. There is an alcove where scrolls made of crystallized music hang like wind chimes, producing the faintest melodies when the air stirs around them. You walk deeper into the hall, past shelves that hold volumes bound in materials you cannot identify. Some appear to be made of solidified light, others of captured shadows, still others of what might be crystallized time itself, and all of them are covered with that fine, respectful dust, the patina of ages that speaks of knowledge patiently waiting to be rediscovered. The air here is different from the outer chamber, thicker somehow, weighted with the gravity of accumulated wisdom. Each breath carries microscopic fragments of ancient pages, particles of knowledge that have drifted free from their bindings over the centuries. You feel as if you are breathing in the very essence of learning itself. As you continue your exploration, you begin to notice patterns in the organization. This is not a random collection, but a carefully curated archive. Books on similar subjects cluster together, not by arbitrary categories, but by some deeper, more intuitive connection. Books that complement each other, that build upon each other's wisdom, that together form complete pictures of universal truth. Here is a section devoted to the mathematics of beauty, where equations that describe the structure of flower petals sit beside formulas for the songs of whales. There is an area dedicated to the physics of dreams, where scientific treatises on the nature of consciousness rest next to poetry that maps the geography of sleep. You approach one of the taller shelves. Its uppermost reaches disappearing into shadow, and notice a peculiar phenomenon. Some of the books are glowing more brightly than others, not with the steady radiance you've seen elsewhere, but with a pulsing, rhythmic light, as if they are trying to get your attention. One volume in particular draws your eye, bound in leather that might once have been blue, but has faded to the color of twilight. It sits at about eye level, covered with dust so fine it seems more like mist, and its glow pulses in perfect rhythm with your own heartbeat. You reach for it slowly, reverently, and as your fingers touch the binding, the dust swirls away like a gentle wind has blown across its surface, revealing the title etched in symbols that transform themselves into your language. As you watch The Dreams of Sleeping Mountains, the book feels warm in your hands, alive somehow, and as you open it carefully, the pages begin to glow with soft, blue-white light. The text is written in symbols that flow and change, adapting themselves to your understanding, and as you begin to read, you realize you are holding something extraordinary, a record of the dreams that mountains dream, the slow, patient thoughts of stone and time and eternal stillness. You close the book gently, overwhelmed by the beauty of what you've glimpsed, and notice that other volumes have begun to glow more brightly, as if your interaction with one has awakened others, as if the books communicate with each other in ways you are only beginning to understand. You continue deeper into the hall, past sections devoted to the secret names of stars, the hidden languages of flowers, the unspoken histories of forgotten peoples. Each area reveals new wonders, new impossibilities made manifest, new evidence that knowledge and wisdom and understanding are living things, growing and changing and connecting in ways that transcend the boundaries of individual books. In one alcove, you discover volumes that exist only when observed, their pages blank until someone looks at them, at which point they fill with exactly the knowledge that person needs in that moment. In another section, books hover freely in the air, their pages turning slowly, displaying their contents to anyone who passes, like shop windows for the soul. The deeper you venture, the older the collection becomes. Here are clay tablets that predate human writing, their cuneiform characters pulsing with the same inner light as the more recent volumes. There are stone slabs covered with symbols that seem to have been carved by tools not yet invented, manuscripts written on materials that might be made of crystallized starlight. And everywhere, pervading everything, is that sense of vast, patient intelligence. The library is not merely a collection. It is a living entity, aware of your presence, pleased by your wonder, guiding your exploration with subtle influences you barely perceive. Certain books call to you more strongly than others. Certain sections seem to glow more brightly as you approach, as if the library itself is curating your experience, showing you exactly what you need to see. You find yourself in a circular area, where the shelves form a perfect ring around a comfortable reading space. Here, chairs carved from different types of wood sit in companionable arrangement, each one designed for a different type of contemplation. Here is a chair for rapid learning, its angles sharp and alert. There is a chair for slow meditation, curved and embracing, and in the center, a chair that seems to shift its form as you look at it, adapting itself to whatever type of reading you might need. You settle into this central chair, and immediately feel it adjust itself to your form, to your mood, to your deepest needs. Around you, the books in this special section begin to glow more brightly, and you realize you have found the heart of the library, the place where the most precious knowledge is kept, the wisdom that forms the foundation of all other understanding. These books are different from the others, older, more fundamental. They contain not just information, but understanding itself, not just facts, but the deep truths that connect all facts into meaningful wholes. They are the master texts, the source codes, the original expressions of universal law. And as you sit in this place of ultimate learning, surrounded by the accumulated wisdom of ages, you feel a profound sense of peace settle over you. This is why you wandered in the desert. This is what drew you across the endless sands, not just to find knowledge, but to find your place in the great web of understanding that connects all things. The whole settles into contented quiet around you, the books rustling softly like leaves in a gentle breeze, their dust motes dancing in the pale light like tiny stars. And somewhere, deeper in the library, you hear new sounds, the faint scratch of pen on paper, the soft whisper of pages being turned by unseen hands, the gentle murmur of voices discussing mysteries that have no names. You are not alone here. You never were. This library, this sanctuary of knowledge, is inhabited by all the seekers who came before you, all the wise ones who contributed to this vast collection, all the gentle souls who understood that true wisdom is meant to be shared, and they welcome you now, accept you as one of their own, invite you deeper into mysteries that will expand your understanding of what it means to be alive in this vast, wonderful universe. Tonight, you will sleep here in this central chair, surrounded by the most precious books ever written. Tomorrow, you will explore deeper, will discover secrets that will change everything you thought you knew about reality. But for now, you simply sit and breathe, and marvel at the fact that such a place exists, that you have found it, that it has been waiting all along for someone exactly like you to discover its wonders. The library embraces you like a loving parent, its books humming lullabies of ancient wisdom, its shelves standing guard over your dreams, and as consciousness fades, you feel yourself becoming part of something vast and eternal, part of the great library of existence itself, where every soul is a book, every life a story, every dream a page in the infinite manuscript of being. Chapter 4, The Whispering Pages. You drift into awareness, like a leaf settling onto still water, consciousness returning not with jarring abruptness, but with the gentle inevitability of dawn. The chairs held you through the night like caring hands, and you feel not just rested, but somehow transformed, as if sleeping in this place of ultimate knowledge has awakened dormant wisdom within your own soul. Around you, the books continue their eternal vigil, their soft glow pulsing with the rhythm of cosmic breathing. but something has changed during the hours of your sleep. The whispers that were barely perceptible yesterday have grown stronger, more distinct, as if your presence has given them permission to speak more freely. You sit quietly for a long moment, simply listening, and gradually you begin to distinguish individual voices within the gentle chorus. Here's a tome of ancient poetry murmuring verses about the birth of stars. There is a volume of forgotten mathematics singing equations that describe the spiral dance of galaxies. Each book contributes its own voice to the symphony, creating a harmony that speaks directly to your soul. You rise slowly from the chair, marveling at how your body feels both more solid and more ethereal than before, as if exposure to this concentrated wisdom has refined your very atoms, given them new purpose, new understanding of their place in the cosmic dance. Your movements feel more graceful, more intentional, as if you are learning to exist in harmony with the fundamental rhythms of the universe. The circular reading area glows more brightly as you stand, and you notice something wonderful. The books on the surrounding shelves have rearranged themselves during the night, not dramatically, but subtly, purposefully. Volumes that complement each other now sit side by side, creating new conversations, new possibilities for understanding. The library is constantly evolving, growing, learning from the interactions between its countless volumes. You approach one of the shelves, drawn by a particularly melodious whisper, and find yourself face to face with a book bound in what appears to be crystallized aurora, its cover shifting through all the colors of the northern lights. The whispers emanating from it sound like wind through infinite spaces, like the songs that planets sing to their moons. As you reach toward it, the book responds by floating gently from its shelf, hovering at the perfect height for you to receive it. Its whispers grow clearer as it settles into your waiting hands, and you hear words that seem to come from the space between stars, from the silence that exists at the heart of all sound. Welcome, seeker of deeper truths, the book whispers. Its voice like cosmic wind. You have learned to listen, and now we may speak more freely, we who have waited in patient silence, we who have held our wisdom like sleeping seeds, we who have dreamed of the day when someone would come who could hear our voices. You open the book carefully and gasp in wonder. The pages are not made of paper, but of some substance that seems to capture and hold light itself. And the words, oh, the words do not merely sit upon the page. They move, they dance, they flow like liquid starlight, rearranging themselves into new meanings, new revelations, new invitations to understanding. You wonder at our nature. The book continues, its whispers now perfectly clear. We are more than mere repositories of information. We are living thoughts, crystallized dreams, the concentrated essence of every moment of understanding ever achieved by conscious beings. We exist in the space between knowing and mystery, and we have been waiting, so very long, for someone who could bridge that space with wonder rather than mere analysis. You close the book gently, overwhelmed by the intimacy of this communication, and realize that around you, dozens of other volumes are beginning to whisper more clearly, their voices joining in a chorus that speaks of truths too vast for any single book to contain. Do not be afraid, comes a new voice, soft as rainfall on rose petals. You turn to see a small volume, bound in what might be moonbeams made solid. Floating near your shoulder like a luminous bird. We do not speak to frighten or overwhelm. We speak because your heart has grown quiet enough to hear. Because your mind has become spacious enough to receive. Because your soul has remembered that knowledge and wisdom are not possessions to be grasped, but gifts to be shared. You walk deeper into the circular reading area, and with each step, more books begin to speak. Their whispers weaving together into a tapestry of sound that tells the story of existence itself. Here is a voice that speaks of the loneliness of the first atom. There is another that describes the joy of molecules, discovering they can dance together. Each book contributes its unique perspective to the vast narrative, creating understanding that transcends the sum of its parts. You seek to understand us. Whispers are thick tone bound in scales that shimmer like dragon skin. But first, you must understand yourself. You are not separate from this knowledge. Not an observer standing outside the story. You are part of the library. Part of the vast collection. Your own life is a book. Your own experiences are pages. Your own wisdom is words waiting to be written. This revelation strikes you with the force of gentle lightning. You are not merely discovering knowledge, you are adding to it. Your very presence here is contributing new chapters to the infinite story. Your wonder is creating new connections. Your questions are opening new possibilities for understanding. You settle back into the central chair, and immediately dozens of books float closer, forming a gentle circle around you. Their whispers creating a cocoon of sound that feels like the most beautiful music ever composed. Each voice is distinct, yet all a part of a greater harmony, a cosmic chorus that sings the universe into being with every breath. Listen, whispers a journal bound in leather soft as cloud. Listen, and we will tell you the secret that connects all knowledge. The truth that underlies all wisdom, the understanding that makes all learning possible. The whispers grow softer, more intimate, and you find yourself leaning forward, your entire being focused on receiving what they have to share. The air around you seems to thicken with anticipation, as if the universe itself is holding its breath. The secret, the voices say in unison, their words overlapping like waves on a cosmic shore, is that there is no separation between the knower and the known. No division between the seeker and the sought. No boundary between the question and the answer. All existence is one vast, living library, and every conscious being is both reader and book, both student and teacher, both seeker and wisdom itself. The truth of these words resonates through your entire being, vibrating in your bones, singing in your blood, awakening understanding that you feel you have always known, but had somehow forgotten. You are not separate from this place, this knowledge, this wisdom. You are an integral part of it, and it is an integral part of you. Now, whisper the books, their voices growing more excited, more joyful. Now that you understand, we can show you wonders beyond imagining. We can share secrets that will transform not just your understanding, but your very being. Are you ready, dear seeker? Are you prepared to become who you truly are? You nod slowly, feeling tears of joy and recognition flowing down your cheeks. And immediately the books begin to sing, not whisper, but sing, their voices rising in harmonies that make the air itself luminous, the very atoms around you begin to dance. Reality becomes more fluid, more responsive to consciousness, more alive. One by one, the books open themselves, their pages turning of their own accord, displaying passages that speak directly to your heart, words that answer questions you didn't know you had, wisdom that fills empty spaces in your soul you hadn't realized existed. Here's a page that explains why flowers turn toward the sun, not in terms of biology, but in terms of love. There is a passage that describes the mathematics of kindness, the equations that govern how compassion spreads through the universe like ripples in an infinite pond. Another book shows you the secret history of raindrops, each one carrying memories of every cloud it has ever been part of, every ocean it has ever joined, every tear it has ever become. And you understand suddenly that you too carry such memories, that every atom in your body has been part of countless other beings, countless other dreams, countless other moments of wonder. The whispers grow more complex now, layering meaning upon meaning, showing you how all knowledge connects, how every fact is part of every other fact, how every truth contains all other truths. The books are not just sharing information, they are revealing the underlying unity that makes all information possible. Do you see? They whisper in voices like wind through cosmic gardens. Do you understand now why we have waited? Why we have preserved this knowledge across the ages? We are not separate libraries, separate collections. We are all facets of the same infinite gem, all notes in the same eternal song, all words in the same endless story. You feel your consciousness expanding, stretching to accommodate these new understandings, and realize that the physical boundaries of the library are illusion. The shelves extend infinitely in all directions. The books exist in dimensions you are only beginning to perceive, and you yourself are becoming vast enough to contain multitudes, wise enough to hold contradictions, spacious enough to embrace mystery. There is more, the books whisper, their voices now seeming to come from within your own heart rather than from outside. So much more, but you have received enough for now. Your human form needs time to integrate what you have learned, to grow large enough to hold what we wish to share. The singing begins to soften, the whispers grow gentler, and you feel the books settling back into their patient waiting, their eternal vigil. But something fundamental has changed. The connection has been established, the conversation has begun, and you know that from this moment forward, you will never be truly alone, never be without access to wisdom, never be separated from the vast library of existence itself. You close your eyes and rest in the chair that holds you like loving arms, feeling the book's presence around you like a protective blessing. Their whispers now soft as lullabies, their wisdom flowing through your dreams like rivers of light. And as sleep begins to claim you once again, you hear them promising, in voices like the music of spheres, that tomorrow will bring even greater revelations, even deeper connections, even more profound understanding of your place in the infinite story. The library settles into its nightly rhythm around you, the books humming contentedly, their pages rustling with satisfaction, their whispers weaving dreams that will prepare you for the choice that awaits, the decision that will determine not just your future, but the future of the library itself, the future of knowledge, the future of wonder in a world that has almost forgotten how to dream. In your sleep, you walk through halls that exist beyond dimension, among books that contain the memories of unborn stars. They are whispers teaching you languages that have not yet been invented, preparing you, slowly, gently, lovingly, for the moment when you must choose between the world you knew and the world you are becoming. Chapter 5: The Choice. You wake to find the world transformed, not the library itself, which remains as beautiful and mysterious as ever, but your perception of it, your understanding of your place within its infinite embrace. The whispers of the books no longer seem external, but internal, as if you have become a living part of the collection, a conscious volume in the vast library of existence. The chair releases you gently, and you stand with movements that feel both familiar and entirely new, as if you have remembered how to inhabit your body with conscious grace, how to move through space with the fluid purpose of one who understands their role in the cosmic dance. The books around you pulse with warm welcome, greeting you not as a visitor, but as family, as one who belongs. But something else has changed during the night, something that fills you with both wonder and a strange, bittersweet longing. At the far end of the circular reading area, beyond the shelves of whispering wisdom, a new doorway has appeared, or perhaps it was always there, waiting for the moment when you would be ready to perceive it. This doorway is different from all the others. It does not lead deeper into the library, but outward, toward light that seems to come from the world beyond. From the desert you crossed to find this place, from the life you lived before knowledge became a living presence in your heart. It is the doorway of return, the threshold of choice, the portal between worlds. You approach it slowly, and as you do, the books around you begin to sing, not the joyful choruses of discovery you heard yesterday, but something deeper, more complex, tinged with sadness and hope and infinite love. They know, as you are beginning to know, that the time of pure receiving is ending, that the moment of decision has arrived. We wondered, whispers the book of crystallized aurora, floating beside you like a loyal companion, when this moment would come. We have seen it before, with others who found their way to us, the moment when the seeker must choose between the world of ordinary knowledge and the world of living wisdom. Other books drift closer, forming a gentle procession as you walk toward the doorway, their whispers creating a farewell symphony, a song of gratitude and blessing and infinite possibility. Some choose to return, murmurs a volume bound in starlight, carrying what they have learned back to the world of forgetting, becoming bridges between the known and the unknown. Teachers who help others remember what they already know, but have temporarily misplaced. Others choose to stay, adds a manuscript written on pages of crystallized music, becoming permanent residents of wonder, adding their own voices to our eternal chorus, helping to preserve and protect the knowledge that might otherwise be lost. You reach the doorway and pause, looking out into the gentle light beyond, and see the desert waiting, patient as stone, eternal as sand. The same dunes you crossed to find this place. But somehow, everything has changed, or perhaps everything has remained exactly the same, and only you have been transformed. The choice, whisper all the books together. their voices creating harmonies that make the air itself sacred, is not between right and wrong, not between better and worse, but between different kinds of service, different ways of sharing what you have received, different expressions of the same infinite love. You turn back to look at the library one last time, at the shelves that stretch beyond sight, at the books that glow with inner wisdom, at the chairs that have held you with such loving care. And you realize that this place, this sanctuary of knowledge, will always be part of you now, regardless of what you choose. The connection has been made, the understanding has been integrated, the transformation has occurred. If you return to the world, the books continue, their whispers now seeming to come from within your own heart. You will carry us with you, every word you speak, every act of kindness you perform, every moment of wonder you inspire in others, will be our voice speaking through you, our wisdom flowing through your choices, our love expressing itself through your life. And if you stay, they add, their voices warm with invitation, you will become one of us. Your own story will be written in light and preserved for future seekers. Your own wisdom will join our chorus. Your own love will help guide others home to themselves. You close your eyes and feel the weight of the decision, not as burden, but as privilege, as the natural culmination of the journey that began with your first step into the desert. You have sought knowledge and found wisdom. You have searched for answers and discovered better questions. You have looked for treasure and found yourself. Behind you, the library holds its breath, not with anxiety, but with anticipation, knowing that whatever you choose will be perfect, will be exactly what the universe needs, will contribute to the ongoing story of consciousness awakening to its own infinite nature. Others choose to stay, adds a manuscript written on pages of crystallized music, becoming permanent residents of wonder, adding their own voices to our eternal chorus, helping to preserve and protect the knowledge that might otherwise be lost. You reach the doorway and pause, looking out into the gentle light beyond, and see the desert waiting, patient as stone, eternal as sand. The same dunes you crossed to find this place. But somehow, everything has changed, or perhaps everything has remained exactly the same, and only you have been transformed. The choice, whisper all the books together, their voices creating harmonies that make the air itself sacred, is not between right and wrong, not between better and worse, but between different kinds of service, different ways of sharing what you have received, different expressions of the same infinite love. You turn back to look at the library one last time, at the shelves that stretch beyond sight, at the books that glow with inner wisdom, at the chairs that have held you with such loving care. And you realize that this place, this sanctuary of knowledge, will always be part of you now, regardless of what you choose. The connection has been made, the understanding has been integrated, the transformation has occurred. If you return to the world, the books continue, their whispers now seeming to come from within your own heart. You will carry us with you, every word you speak, every act of kindness you perform, every moment of wonder you inspire in others, will be our voice speaking through you, our wisdom flowing through your choices, our love expressing itself through your life. And if you stay, they add, their voices warm with invitation, You will become one of us. Your own story will be written in light and preserved for future seekers. Your own wisdom will join our chorus. Your own love will help guide others home to themselves. You close your eyes and feel the weight of the decision, not as burden, but as privilege, as the natural culmination of the journey that began with your first step into the desert. You have sought knowledge and found wisdom. You have searched for answers and discovered better questions. You have looked for treasure and found yourself. Behind you, the library holds its breath, not with anxiety, but with anticipation, knowing that whatever you choose will be perfect, will be exactly what the universe needs, will contribute to the ongoing story of consciousness awakening to its own infinite nature. The choice you make, whatever it is, becomes a new page in the book of your being, a new chapter in the story of consciousness, a new verse in the eternal song of seeking and finding, of losing and rediscovering, of wandering and coming home. Behind you, before you, within you, the library sings its approval, its gratitude, its infinite love, knowing that in choosing, you have chosen not just for yourself, but for all seekers, all wanderers, all who will follow the trail of ancient symbols across the desert of forgetting, into the sanctuary of remembering, into the presence of wisdom that has been waiting, always waiting, for them to find their way home. The desert wind whispers through the doorway, carrying scents of sand and stars and infinite possibility. The books rustle their approval, their pages singing lullabies of completion, their bindings glowing with the satisfaction of stories well told. And you, having chosen, having decided, having embraced your role in the vast library of being, step forward into whatever comes next, knowing that you carry within you now all the wisdom you will ever need, all the love you could ever want, all the understanding necessary to transform whatever world you choose to inhabit. The forgotten library beneath the desert settles into eternal peace, its treasures preserved, its wisdom shared, its purpose fulfilled once again, waiting patiently for the next seeker, the next wanderer, the next soul brave enough to follow ancient symbols across impossible distances, into the heart of mystery, into the embrace of infinite knowledge, into the recognition that home was never a place, but a state of being, a quality of consciousness, a choice to see wonder in everything, and to share that wonder, like gentle rain, like patient starlight, like whispered secrets, with a world that has forgotten how to dream. And in the silence that follows, in the space between ending and beginning, in the eternal moment where all choices become one choice, the library dreams new dreams, writes new stories, prepares new welcomes, for all who will come, all who will seek, all who will remember, that knowledge is not a destination, but a journey, that wisdom is not a possession, but a gift, that love is not a feeling, but a way of being, in the infinite, patient, endlessly generous library of existence itself. The end.